The driving lesson. Malus. The L runs from Yankee Stadium 10 miles north to Woodlawn. A railway on stilts, it stands on 25-foot tall, rivet-studded metal girders that trisect the entire length of Jerome Avenue. From the air, it might look like some enormous, grime-encrusted, cast-iron millipede preying on the spine of the borough. At least, that's the way I remember it on this particular day. And I was only being tormented by one of its million legs. I was ready to take my driving test. Even in New York, where a car was a mixed blessing, getting a driver's license was a huge rite of passage for a boy, a secular bar mitzvah, if you will. In preparation, my father had taken me on a last practice run. All had gone well, until the final moment. Jerome Avenue is a wide 6-lane concourse. The 2 rows of the L's legs straddle the middle traffic lanes, leaving 2 additional lanes on either side, one for traffic and one, next to the curb, for parallel parking. Finding a parking spot in the Bronx took an extraordinary amount of luck. Actually getting into one took the skill of a neurosurgeon. Parkers used every available inch, and it was not uncommon for a car to be trapped in a parking spot, locked between the bumpers of those in front and behind. Squeezing into a vacant space was the most dreaded part of the driving test. Returning from our jaunt, my father and I had discovered a parking spot directly in front of our building. Jubilant, I pulled next to the car in front and started to back into the spot. That's when my war with the L started. As the rear of the car slid into the space, the nose of the car swung to the left, where one of the pillars blocked it. I stopped and pulled forward to try again. Again, I edged the car backward into the space. Again, the pillar was in the way. I tried pulling further up. Now the rear of the car wouldn't clear the parked car on my right. I tried pulling further back, but now couldn't cut the rear far enough into the gap. My father watched patiently, as sweat started to run down my cheeks from my sideburns. I made repeated attempts. The geometry just wouldn't work. Finally, I turned to him and said, "I can't do it." Wordlessly, he got out of the passenger door and walked around to the driver's side. I slid over, he got in. He put the car in gear, pulled forward a few feet, and greased into the parking spot. I heaved a sigh of relief as he switched off the engine. I opened the passenger door to get out. He didn't move. Still looking forward, he said, "Why no, I never thought I'd see that." "What?" I asked. "As long as I have known you, I have never seen you give up. I never thought you would." Maybe it was just a simple statement of fact. In my memory, it rings like a death knell. Whatever it was, I said to him, "Dad, could you pull out again?" Wordlessly, he started the car. I shut my door, and he pulled out into the traffic lane, right back to where we'd started. I got out and we switched seats. I put the car in gear, took a deep breath, and carefully backed into the parking spot. We got out of the car, and I handed him the keys. As we walked to our building, he put his arm around my shoulders and squeezed, just a bit. As I write this, I suddenly realize that it's been half a century since that day. I won't pretend that, in the 50 long years since, I have been successful at everything I have attempted. But I can't count the times that, when things have been going badly, I have heard his voice.